Good morning, Warzone kids. Beautiful day on the trail. Let me tell you a little bit about the orientation of this channel and my channel on YouTube at Trail to the Western Lands. Like and subscribe. And if you like these little videos, head over to the YouTube channel. I got longer ones on there. I'm trying to share my experience with my fellow Warzone kids because you're not alone. I'm a child sex abuse survivor living with borderline personality disorder. I'm an addict, bulimic, binge eater. I've been a cutter and burner. And if you can relate to any of that, you and me are pals. You ain't alone. A lot of when you look at the stuff about healing, they use that word in bookstores, online, use the word healing. I don't love it myself. I think about becoming whole, about heading on the trail to the Western Lands, a place of peace and wholeness and happiness. A lot of the stuff that you're going to read is one of two things. It's either stuff like from a clinician or a therapist or a scientist writing books about how your brain works from the outside. It can be extremely helpful. Reading up on the symptoms of borderline, for example, splitting and polarized thinking and erratic relationships and chaotic, at best, chaotic neutral attachment style. Here comes more betrayal. That was helpful to me because I could read that and I could recognize parts of myself. And at some point, I just decided, you know what? If I can recognize myself in 3/4 of the item on his checklist, I'm just going to open my mind to the possibility that I recognize myself in the other ones too. And then I did, even the ones I didn't like. And that was helpful to me. And then it's helpful to have the shorthand. I can tell someone, I got BPD. And that'll save us both a lot of time. They'll know a little bit about what to expect. And it tells me a little bit about what to expect from myself. That when I feel betrayed, I probably wasn't. That's probably just how I experienced the feeling of being hurt. Anyway, I say all that to say you can get a lot from those books written by clinicians and therapists and scientists. Tell you how your brain works. That's on the outside of your eyeballs. The wrong side. We live on the inside of our eyeballs. And that 1 inch difference from the inside of your eyeballs to the outside of your eyeballs is the greatest distance in the universe for us humans. The other kind of thing you're going to read, so I say that because there's a limited amount of usefulness you're going to be able to get describing yourself from the outside because you're on the inside. You have to work this puppy. You got to work this thing from the inside. And if yours is all jacked up like mine is, it ain't that easy to work it on the inside just reading like the assembly manual from the outside, put together by a clinician, therapist, scientist, someone like that. The other kind of thing you're going to read are memoirs written by survivors of, find one that's written by a survivor of something you can relate to. Memoirs of people living with BPD or child sex abuse survivors. There's great ones. The Courage to Heal is one geared specifically toward women. But I'll tell you, I read it and I can identify with each and every one of the stories in there. I'm a circle keeper in Hidden Water, which is an organization that runs healing circles by and for those affected by child sex abuse. And I've learned that men, women, people that look like me, people that don't, non-binary people, transgendered people, we're all human beings with a psyche. And our psyches are way more alike than they are different. You can just take that to the bank. But you're going to read a lot of memoirs. And a lot of times what I notice is that those memoirs kind of end where the real healing journey starts, which is with the recognition of what happened, the acknowledgement of what happened to you, acknowledging the reality of your own suffering and misery is the starting point. That's where it starts. It's tricky because that kind of feeling can often come with an epiphany. An epiphany is a kind of emotional, like a breakthrough, an awakening experience, an enlightenment experience, an epiphany, a born-again experience. These are all words that describe some type of mental state, and it's not unlike being high. I'm an addict. I've been high on most things you can get high on. That ain't true at all. I never huff paint, never huff gas. never took fentanyl, but I'd done a lot of other stuff of the same vein. And I know what being high is like, and I don't need it. Epiphany experiences are like being high because they wear off, and then you want another one. You need a better one. Chasing a dragon. It don't work. It's a losing proposition. You cannot epiphany your way out of a Jenga tower that's collapsed. You cannot have enough epiphanies in the world to do the healing and to become whole. Epiphany is just a pleasant feeling. It's a little reward for acknowledging reality. Take it as that. When you have an epiphany experience and you recognize things, you recognize the reality of your life, and you have an epiphany experience, that's great. That's a little emotional reward that the it that lives inside of you is giving you for recognizing reality. How about that? But that doesn't take you to the Western lands, that epiphany. Chasing epiphany is no different than chasing a gambling win or chasing sex or chasing getting high or chasing anything else a human being can chase. It's all chasing. Dog chasing his tail is the best you're going to get. What's the grand prize if you catch it? You bit your own tail. It ain't worth it. So a lot of memoirs are written by people that are at kind of that moment. I know this because I've written one. That's where it starts. That's where the healing journey starts. That's how you know you're at the trailhead on the path to the Western lands. Come check out my YouTube channel. It's called A Pilgrim's Progress. I've written the book. I'm shopping a proposal for it. And what I'm aiming to do in this book is talk about my experience of sort of like life after that epiphany experience. My book, A Pilgrim's Progress, is going to start with realizing, with acknowledging that reality, and then making that Jenga tower whole, making your psyche whole. That's what this channel is aimed at. I'm a child sex abuse survivor. My task is living my life today. That's what I got in front of me today. Today's miles on the trail. That's all I can walk. Can't walk yesterday's, can't walk tomorrow's. Can't even see tomorrow's, and yesterday's are gone. I can walk today's miles. I'm going to put my left foot in front of my right foot, and I'm going to walk today's miles. You can always see the next step, and that's the only step you can ever take. It's a good day on the trail, Pilgrim. Like and subscribe. Send this along to someone else that you think might be able to relate. Leave a comment. If you're a war zone kid, there's nothing I'd love more than to hear from you. It's a good day out there on the Pilgrim. It's a good day out there on the trail, Pilgrim. Daylight's burning. Let's get after it.